Hello, my name is Vicky and I'm from Vienna, which is the capital city of Austria. Here in the background you see the Castle Schönbrunn, Schloss Schönbrunn in German, and it's mostly known for Kaiser Franz Josef and his wife Sissi. Sissi was not at all happy to be the empress of this country and to be in this environment, and she hated to be in all these rules. She always wanted to be free, and I was exactly the same. And there's another nice connection with the Emperor Kaiser Franz Josef and my family, because my family once received from him the Knight title, and Knight Bach von Hansberg. So now I want to tell you my whole story where I was looking for freedom. I was born and raised in an Adventist family, and the whole side, my mother's family is Adventist, but my father's side is not. But it was still normal that we went every Sabbath to church, and we were always at the church activities and doing everything in church. And for me it was always normal to go there. There were a few Sabbaths when I was a teenager and I was thinking, no, today I want to sleep longer, that I did not go, but in the end it was so strange that I went again there every Sabbath. And for me it was clear that one day I will get baptized. When I was 13 years old, I went to a summer camp, and there I met a guy. And this guy was speaking so badly against Adventism. He was speaking so badly against God and was just speaking or cursing God and about the church and everything. And I was so shocked. I never heard it before. And I was like, okay, maybe now is the moment where I have to start to get Bible studies to get baptized. So when I came home, I talked with the pastor and said I want to get baptized. I want to have Bible studies for that. But the main problem was I never went there because I wanted to make the decision for Jesus to let him in my life, but more because I wanted to tell everybody, it's so cool, I'm baptized now, and now I'm for with the good ones. So I started to have the Bible studies, and 2 years long I had them, and 2 years long every week we met, but I don't remember anything what he's telling me. I don't remember anything what he wanted to teach me from the Bible, what he wanted to teach me about God's love. There's just one thing I really remember. There he made an object lesson for me. And there he took one teddy bear and one chair. And first he was sitting on the chair and putting the teddy bear in front of him. And he was saying, I am representing God and the teddy bear is representing you. And normally it is like that God should sit on the throne and rule over you. Or I'm sitting on the throne and rule over the teddy bear. And then he was changing position and put the teddy bear on the chair, and he was sitting in front of the chair. And said, but mostly it is like that the person is ruling over the life and God is just sitting next to it in a way. And he said, I'm not sure if God is sitting on your throne or you are sitting on the throne. And he was right. I never let God to rule my life. I never let God to the throne of my life. And even if I knew he was right, I would have never told him. I was like, no way. And I was just saying, yeah, maybe, but I'm not so sure about it. After 2 years, I thought, now it's enough of Bible studies. Now I want to get baptized. Now I want to go to the water. And he was not really happy about it, but he did not really say something against it. But I could feel that he's not really sure about it. But the problem was a few weeks before he stopped to be a pastor. So I needed to go to another pastor. And this pastor had a talk with me before the baptism. And after this talk, he called again and said he wants to meet again. Because he was not at all sure if I'm really ready for the baptism. And we were talking, and I was just, no, it's not right. I'm ready for the baptism, and I was just pushing forward that I can get baptized. And in the end, he said, yes, okay, it's fine. Then I will baptize you. So on the 25th of June 2011, I got baptized. And the verse I got for my baptism was in Revelation 3, verse 20. And it says, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come into him and dine with him and he with me. What a beautiful verse. It says that God is knocking at our door and wants to come to us, and he wants to be with us. But you see, God is gentle and he's knocking. He's not running against the door and entering with force, but he's waiting for you that you open it. Only the thing was that I was not opening, I was more closing. I was locking the door pretty well, and I did not let him in. So I lived a life like every non-Christian. I was not different to my schoolmates. I had all my boyfriends and all this stuff. I never let Christ transform my life. I never let him into my life, as I said already. So the time went on, and finally I got 18, and I thought, now I'm free, now I can do whatever I want. But this is exactly the biggest lie of Satan. You are never free. When you think that you're free and you can do whatever you want, it is the worst. And you will not be happy. Anyways, I started to go out, to go in discos, I started to drink alcohol, I started to have one boyfriend after the other. And I started to try to feel this emptiness I had in my heart, to fill it with things. I tried to fill it with boyfriends, I tried to fill it with movies, with music, with makeup, with shopping, with jewelry, with everything. Also with chatting with friends and Facebook and everything. But the problem is, this is not lasting. It can never fill you really up. So the moment will be that come that when you're alone in your bed, and you will be there and you sit there and all your friends are asleep and you watched already 5 movies on the day, or and you listened already to all your music and you chatted already with all friends, and Facebook you saw already everything what is on the main page, and then you're alone again and it's emptiness which is overcoming you again, and it's not going away, and you feel it and you try to fill it with everything, but it's just not possible because these things are giving you nothing. You need more and more to fill it up. It's like with drugs. You always need more alcohol to be happy, to feel this excitement. So it was exactly the same with me. And we need to understand that just God can make us happy, that He's the only source which can fill us, which can give us this peace, which can fill our emptiness. With 15 I started to work, and my work became an idol for me. I know it sounds funny, but it really happened. I was a dentist assistant, and I was so proud of my work. And I was feeling also with my work my emptiness. I tried, and it was working for a few years, and I was just working, and in my free time I was filling this emptiness with other things, as I mentioned, music, boyfriends, and shopping and whatever. I was also youth leader and involved in church activities. As I also mentioned before that I always were there. I was always the good Christian girl. Every Sabbath in church and doing and helping in the program. And yeah, I was always looking to be the perfect one. I tried to show everybody that I'm the perfect Adventist. And I started also to believe it. But the thing is, it's not just that you're on Sabbath morning in church and then the rest of the week you're doing whatever you want. It's more about that. When I was 16, I had the possibility to go to India for a mission trip. And I loved it so much there that since then it was in my heart I wanted to become a missionary. But I had no idea what it means to be a missionary. I had no idea that you should have a relationship with God, that you should have experiences with God, that you can share His love with these people. And that it's not just about being on Sabbath in church and in the evening you're in the disco. So when I was 19, I decided to go to a mission school. And as I told you before, I was a dentist assistant, and this was a problem because it's not the most common missionary work. So I needed to find a solution. And mission school was the perfect solution because it's just 9 months, you get all the informations, and then I could finally go to my loved India. But praise the Lord that He had something better for me than just informations. So I applied to the mission school, and the mission school in Italy, Minora Mission School, accepted me. And after that, the panic started for 3 months. So when I read the handbook and I read all these rules about the dress code, I got crazy because there was like not the style I was wearing. I was not allowed to wear jewelry. I was not allowed to wear makeup, and this was the moment where I was talking the first time again to God, and I was just saying to Him, "No, I don't want to become like them. I don't want to become one of these boring Adventists. I don't want to change how I dress because I like how I'm dressing. I don't want to change how I wear my makeup. I don't want to change how I live because I love how I live." And I promised to myself that I will not change at all for them. So out of this panic, I was buying jewelry for 200 euros. Just to show that even if I was not allowed to wear them there, I will not change and I will just still do it here. On a weekend before going to Italy, I went out dancing in a club with friends to celebrate my last evening in freedom. Today when I think back, I feel just stupid. There was not at all freedom, and that night I got so drunk like it was never before. And of course I needed to have my last flirt. I couldn't control myself anymore, and my decisions were controlled from alcohol and not from myself. But I was free, at least I thought it. I'm just thankful to God how He protected me that night and the following days till I had to fly to Italy. What I also have to mention again is, I told you already that I started to identify myself as a dentist assistant. The moment I fired myself, I had this big emptiness again. And I did not know anymore who I am. It sounds silly, but it was how I felt. So I went to the mission school, hating to be there, hating to start a new life, to keep all these rules, these conservative rules, and to go somewhere where they have just no idea about life. When I arrived there, I never felt so wrong on the place. But in the end, it was the best experience of my life. There I couldn't feel my emptiness anymore with boys, movies or partying. And there I had no chance then to focus more on spiritual things, on the Bible, on prayer. And step by step I started to pray for myself, I started to read for myself the Bible, and to focus more and more on God. I got to know God. I got to know what it means to have God as a father, and I understood a little bit more about His agape love, about His all-giving love. I understood what it means to have God in my life. I felt Him in my life again. And yes, we are sinners. Yes, we don't need to change to go to Him, but He will wait there with open arms to welcome us home. But it doesn't mean that we need to stay like that. But He's changing us. And He will help us to overcome our sins. The more we spend time with God in prayer and His Word, the more we will change. And as the Bible says in 2 Corinthians 3:18, "But we all, with unveiled face, beholding as in a mirror the glory of the Lord, are being transformed into the same image from glory to glory, just as by the Spirit of the Lord." In other words, by beholding we become changed. God loves us so much that He wants us to change, that He will empower us to be able to overcome our sins and be witness for His love. And yes, I kept my promise. I did not change for them, but God changed myself. God changed me. I finally got an identity in my Creator, and I finally understood that just He can fill up my emptiness. He filled it up and He gives me peace when the feeling of emptiness overcomes me again. And most of all, I got a purpose in my life. I don't say that I'm now perfect and that I overcame all my sins and that there are no temptations anymore. I'm still struggling with things. And I'm not perfect yet, but I'm trying to become every day closer and closer to Jesus. Yesterday, the 10th of September 2016, I got rebaptized because I finally made the decision really for Jesus. And the text I choose for this baptism is in 1 Peter 2:9, and it says, "But you're a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, His own special people, that you may proclaim the praises of Him who called you out of darkness into His marvelous light." I chose it because it says exactly what happened to me last year. He chose me, He called me out of this darkness I had, and He brought me into His marvelous light. And for this I praise Him. In the last year, I took after a long time the decision for Jesus. I took the decision to let God lead my life. I took the decision to surrender all to Him. This is the reason why I did this rebaptism. And I also want to encourage you with that rebaptism, that it is not too late to make mistake right again, to go back to God again. And if you're doing some things where you know that God is not happy with it, that He is still there waiting, knocking at your door to be with you. He's waiting for you to open this door. And with telling you my story, I want to encourage you that it's not too late to make the decision for God again, to turn your back to distractions and to turn your face to our loving God. He gave us His only begotten Son. And let this amazing love of our Father change our hearts.
Jesus died my soul to save, my lips shall still repeat. Jesus paid it all to Him I owe. Sin had left a crimson stain, He washed it white as snow. Jesus paid it all. Sin had left a crimson stain.